All right, what's up, YouTube? It's your boy Big Mike, man, with bangers, bullion, and parabellums. Um, yeah, today I just wanted to talk about, man, the Oregon measure 114. I was looking at Colion Noir's page and saw something about it, and then I was watching Iraq veteran, I think 888. Shout out to Colion. Noir. Y'all go over there and support the brother's page. Um, Real strong Second Amendment um, champion. I would call him. He's a champion in this game, man. He got a couple million subscribers. I only wish to have that many subscribers one day and be like that brother. But yeah, he puts out some good issues. And I like watching this channel. It's real intellectual. But he also does reviews and that type of thing. And, I don't know where my channel is going to go, y'all. But I kind of like that intellectual side of it. I actually wanted to name my channel one day, gun therapy, or something like that. To get to know your boy just a little bit better. I got a background with business management, that type of thing. Psychology, substance use, counseling. I got a master's in forensic psychology. So forensic psychology is not just like CSI. Forensic psychology is where the law and psychology intersect, with behavioral health, mental health, that type of thing. So where an individual, the courts may have a smoking gun. They may actually have the smoking gun. They may actually have fingerprints. They may actually have bullets and that type of thing. But, forensic psychology comes in is where it's like, was the mind state of the individual was there? Was the individual aware of the crime based on whether they were psychotic under substance-induced psychosis? So, yeah, I wanted to have wanted to have a little flavor to the channel, a little different from everybody else. And I'm still trying to find that niche. But I decided, like, man, just go ahead and start the channel, man, and just wherever the channel go. But I started this life journey from a street background. I come from the streets. Had a good upbringing with my grandparents. Parents weren't really there till I was about 9, but so I had a good, stable household. But it's just when you stepped out in the streets in South Central Los Angeles, where it was raw and tough, and things got real scandalous. So you had to be a beast to make it. So I know what it's like to be in survival mode. I know what it's like to be aggressive. I know what it's like, to definitely need legally or illegally to have a right to bear arms, right? But now I'm legal. Everything is legal. I went through the process and restored my rights from being a felon. And had all my rights restored to me. So this channel is the champion, and the message and talk with people. If you got questions about that, I'm not an attorney. I can't give legal advice, but I can point you out to one who can particularly help you with that sort of matter in Washington State. And if you're from out of state, I can give you the number, and you can chop it up with them and talk to them and get that figured out. Maybe he can point you to somebody in your state that does that. But to be able to go get my rights back in court was really, man, that was something that I never expected, man. I never thought that I would be able to own a firearm. And this is, it's empty, all the way through. The barrel's empty. I never point a gun at yourself, never look through the barrel. But, and I've learned a lot of these things, but, the gun is definitely empty. Clip is out because clip is loaded. clips are loaded. So yeah, but the fact that to own a firearm, to have the right to own a firearm, is our Second Amendment right. You can get into culture where it wasn't meant for blacks and that type of thing. Well, at one point it wasn't. Due to the Black Panthers and slavery and that type of thing. But now it is. And I got me one. You know what I mean? First one legally, I will be building them up. So follow the channel to see what we get. But we will be talking about issues like this Oregon Measure 11. So just kind of to give it a quick synopsis, actually, I'm going to go down to the definition of what it says here, and I'm getting this from Oregon live.com. What is the measure? What is the status of Measure 11? Let me see. Where is that piece? Yeah, so Measure 11 is where they want people to be permitted to be able to buy a firearm. Measure 11 placed a substantial amount of work on all law enforcement agencies, but came up with very little direction, no funding, and no additional staffing. So Measure 11 is a temporary restraining order that will put voter-approved measure on hold as 4 lawsuits proceed in federal court. The judge says she will issue a ruling by Tuesday. So people are already putting, lawsuits in place to try to stop this measure. But the folks are trying to get it done. They're trying to, it's already passed. It passed by, I think, 50.7% voted yes, which was 975,402 votes. And then 49.3% voted no, which was 950,355 votes. This requires a permit from law enforcement for people to purchase firearms. Applicants would need to complete safety training. Key point, they would need to complete safety training and pass a criminal background check. The measure also prohibits magazines capable of holding more than 10 rounds. Well, that's like Washington State. I bought the Taurus G3C, and it supposedly from the manufacturer comes with 3 12-round magazines. The store that I bought them from had to comply with Washington State after the date of, I believe, July, and they had to replace the 12-round magazines with 10-round magazines. So my box came with 3 10-round magazines for them to be compliant with state law. I would have been grandfathered in if I would have bought them before July of 2022. But the key piece is to this gun control measure was that applicants would need to complete a safety training before they could purchase the firearm. And you'd have to have, a certain percentage of showing that you know how to have a firearm. Well, a lot of people, the argument on the other side of that is a lot of people would say, well, I can't even purchase a firearm to even go practice, right? People don't understand the process that you can rent guns from there, that they can give you guns for you to use. There's a lot of education that needs to be brought into this field, and I hope somebody does that. We need to come together and kind of think all these things through. As I say, I'm in Washington State, and I'm just kind of getting started with this. So, but during the court hearing on Friday, Senior Assistant Attorney General Brian Simons Marshall assured that the Oregonians will be able to apply for a permit when the measure takes effect on Thursday, drawing laughter from gun rights advocates in the courtroom public gallery. So this is supposed to happen on the 8th, in 3 days. This is passing. The sheriffs, I was reading what the sheriff says. Where is this here? So the sheriffs have to have a process in place for this to even take place. Like the sheriffs, they don't have funding. They're saying, the sheriffs are saying, hey, look, man, we can't do anything about this. We don't have the funding for this. We don't have a process for this. We don't have anything. You guys just want this pushed immediately. The sad part about it was that it was over $2 million spent to get this bill going, to get this measure happening. And only about $76,000, not even $100,000 to stop the measure, right? So it was overwhelmingly, financially supported for this to go through. The thing is, once one state does this, like multiple states will then start to follow. And then, it's for people with hunting guns and different things like that. Like people will really start to see that it's going to affect us all eventually, to the point to where they won't have any guns. They don't want us to have any guns. You look at Canada started doing this first. But if you look over in the UK and London and England, like all the hard, firmer gun controls, America is the baby to these civilized European societies, right? America is learning, right? They've already been legalized drugs, they've been through what we're going through here, what we're seeing in America, where, people are smoking crack right on the side of the road. And they're not going to jail. People shooting up, ODing right on the side of the road. They're not going to jail. It's a public health crisis, is what they're saying, right? So we're following the hind steps of our four countries, the countries that were created before this one was created. So we're experiencing a slower growth chain, right? If you look at a chain analysis, right, we're later down the line, right? So the same gun controls that they have over there will end up having over here. Your guns can be taken. Now, whether you're going to be somebody that give up your guns or not, that's up to you. But, I mean, on the other hand, what else you going to do, right? So that's where the rubber meets the road, they say, right? And in the streets, it's like they say you get out where you get mad at. And so if somebody's coming to take yours, it's going to have to be one of them, will come take it type thing, right? Well, what do you do when a tank pulls up in your yard? Talking about we're going block to block taking guns, right? What are you going to do when a troop is outside your house and they're taking guns and they're taking people to FEMA camps, right? What are you going to do? You're going to go outside with your AK-47? You're going to go outside with your AR-15 and tell them I refuse when they got 100 trained on you? Like, that's your bullets are water on the duck's ass. So at that point, we got to do this legally. We got to do this intellectually. We got to do this in a way to where it affects our future generations, not some crazy, dumb shootout that you're not going to win. I mean, so all those people talking about, come take mine, come on, man, you're fighting a losing war. You can go take over the White House, but what is that going to do in the National Guard and armories and stealth bombers and drones and all that? They'll destroy the White House and put another one. So all you fools, marching over the storming the White House and all that, man, that, good luck. How did that work for you? You know what I mean? So we got to think, man. We got to think. We got to come together. We got to think. People really need to put their brains in action. So yeah, I'm not a news channel or anything like that. I'm just trying to make the people that may follow my channel, that may stumble upon my channel and watch this state, they may be able to see something and go look at the more stimulated channels, like Coleon Noir, and get more information. But it's called the Measure 114. I was going to say 11-4, but a Measure 114 out of Oregon State. Check that out, man. That's something, Washington to be next. California, it'll start a state domino effect, one state after the next. So with that, I just want to say, man, stay tuned for more content. As I say, as I grow in this, I'm a new Second Amendment supporter, but I've always been in support of firearms. I've always had firearms, but I haven't had any in the past 20 years, been waiting to get my rights back. And this is my first legal firearm. And I feel like you, come take mine. But that sound good. But what you going to do when the tank pull up, right? So with that, y'all, man, I just want to say, stay encouraged, man. Believe in yourself. Be the best you that you can be. The next 6 months don't have to be like the last 6 months. What can you do today that will affect your tomorrow? And with that, I'm going to say peace.